Hey everyone, Rho here. Well, here we are. This is it. Volume 3 of The End and the Death. The end of the Horus Heresy series. I've just finished my hardback copy and I'll now listen to the audio version, just to hear it all go down in the legendary voice of narrator Jonathan Keeble. Undoubtedly the voice I think of when it comes to the heresy. I'm not talking spoilers today, and this isn't a review. Those are conversations to come now we've reached the end of the siege in the weeks and months ahead. But of course I've just got to give a little initial reaction. Where do I begin? How do I sum up how I feel? I can only say overwhelmed, mixed with a profound sense of gratitude. This isn't just dealing with the most pivotal moment in 40k history, but it's ending a series we've been journeying through together for nigh on 20 years. Never in a million years did I ever dream we would get to witness the truth of the Emperor's duel against Horus. Yet here we are. So yeah, gratitude. Just an overwhelming feeling of thanks to all the writers and authors over the years for bringing all of this to life. Blessing us with, as far as I'm concerned, undoubtedly the greatest novel series ever. I know, like a lot of you out there, being able to dive in and escape into some of these reads over the years has got me through some tough times in life. So it's kind of an odd mix of excitement and happiness to finally reach the end we've been waiting for, and a little bit of sadness in a way too. And this one was definitely a bit of an emotional read, but surprisingly not quite as much as I was expecting. And I think maybe in a way that's because of all of the Horus Heresy. It's this final outcome that's always been the most certain, definitive. We've always known how it has to end, with the Emperor defeating Horus and assuming the Golden Throne. We've just been waiting to see the how it would all go down. Now, part 3 is a bit of a smaller volume in size compared to the real hefty tomes of parts 1 and 2, but that's maybe because it's a lot more isolated now. The vast battle plains of terror are gone, and the heart of the palace and the vengeful spirit are largely all that remains. There's still plenty of separate stories and characters to follow, but now more than ever, it's the jewel that overshadows all of it. That in truth is really the only contest that matters. And oh, what an encounter! What a fight it is. This is a fight that transcends everything we've ever seen before. A battle that makes Primarch fights look like kids playing with sticks in the yard. A moment where you truly see it's not Horus fighting the Emperor. It's the full power of the gods. After years of feeling them within the shadows, between the words, you cannot escape the notion that this is their end game as much as the Imperium's. That they have gone all in to ensure the Emperor's destruction. This is not one of their many schemes. This is everything they have been fighting for. They have thrown everything they have into the being that was Horus Lupercal. And again, you can feel that. It's majestically brought to life. You can see how beyond any trace of a Primarch this Horus has become. And opposite that, how foolish it was for any traitor Primarch to have ever thought they could oppose their father. After everything the Emperor's been through, the struggles on the throne for months and years on end, fighting all the way to this moment, he still goes up against the full might of Chaos Undivided. The Four united, as just a man. This isn't the God Emperor of 40k. who has been worshipped with faith for 10,000 years. This is the living, breathing man who was born on Terra and took his dream into the galaxy. It makes you wonder how the Chaos Gods could ever stop him as the god he would become. And you get some absolutely epic Emperor moments as he displays his power, his unstoppable march to face his son. As you'd expect, the fight dominates the novel, with a lot of twists and turns along the way. Some you'll undoubtedly agree with and like, and some you may not. But I'm sure, like me, you'll just be reading it all with that feeling that you still just can't quite believe that we're here, that you are witnessing and living this moment. I didn't know if this would be the one time we would finally get that Emperor point of view, but no, he's still kept as very much the truly unknowable figure he's always been, and as he probably should be. As we know, while this may be the end of the heresy, it's only the beginning of 40k, and for all the Emperor's internment upon the throne, he's still the most important figure in that universe. Now, I think this is the novel where I truly felt a difference in Rogal Dorn. Not in the dealing with pressures and stress of the siege as we have seen him, but a shift in the man within. That you see him here truly, for the first time without that mental wall around himself. That he has no bricks left with which to build it. He's still the Praetorian. He's still dedicated to that duty and it will never break. That would and will never change. But it definitely felt like this was a more human Rogal than you've ever quite seen him before. And I mean throughout his story here, not simply the inevitable end. As I've said before, the Siege of Terra has been Rogal's showcase. His time to shine. And I have to say, it's really endeared me to his character even more than previously. Rogal has been an absolute star throughout this mini-series. And it continues here. Not necessarily in his particular story, but in the way he conducts himself. The way he acts and comes across. The same could be said for Valdor to a lesser extent. The Custodian's even more imprisoned in duty than Rogal. Yet here too, you'll see more emotion out of him than ever before. A frustration to him you'd never thought possible. And it'll be interesting to see how that reflects on the man we've already seen later in the future set story to Metaphysical Blades, who was very much the Valdor of old. There wasn't much difference to be seen within him. So how Valdor deals with or refines himself after this is going to be very interesting to see for me. The other side stories out there play their parts and wrap up nicely, with again plenty of teases and nods to the future. And many of them finally come together in nice evolving natural way, with one delivering an absolute spine-tingling goosebump culmination. A moment that will never be forgotten. One or two characters' fates will undoubtedly be shocks, and some of course move along that preordained path we know they need to take, such as Abaddon. The Abaddon ending the heresy here feels far more that man we see within the Black Legion series than the one who began the heresy. Again, another subtle evolution that's taken part across the years. You get a few sights of characters you weren't expecting to, which was a nice surprise. And overall, it just has that kind of Return of the King kind of vibe to it all. That it's all come down to this, every separate thread leading here. It'll definitely feel like there's a lot to come to terms with and process coming out of this one. And I definitely think it will take more than a few reads to catch and interpret all the different events and meanings. In saying all that, there wasn't as much of the aftermath as I was expecting. Or should I say hoping to see, I guess. Really dealing with the immediate moments, and thus mainly the core characters central to this final culmination. But I guess that makes sense. We know the Scouring series is on the way, and I would assume it will be that will kick off and show us the real aftermath from here. I'm just hoping it does show us these early moments, that there's not a big jump in time, because I really think there'll be some of the most interesting moments and interactions in the lore ever to see. Everyone just really reeling and reacting to the Emperor ascending the throne. The victory they never dreamed was possible, if indeed it was any victory at all. It's undoubtedly the most important novel in the 40k universe, the most important novel we will ever read, the defining moment of one era dying and the moving into another. You'll definitely come out of this and just need a few moments to absorb it all, to process it. And like me, you'll probably want to dive straight back in to really try and grasp it all again. But just what a fantastic series it's been. I don't think words can really sum it up enough. Quite simply the best novel series ever. And the entirety of the Siege of Terror has been a truly amazing finale. What else can we say but for the Emperor? As always everyone, what did you think? Just a little immediate reaction today. We'll have the in-depth chats and debates in the weeks, months and years ahead. But yeah, what a finish. As always everyone, huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support truly means a lot to me. It really does. If you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.